Hello friends, welcome to today's class. So in today's class, in continuation with the previous classes, today we'll discuss your new topic, which is functions of single random variables. So today we'll try to go ahead with the functions of single random variable. So to understand what actually is this functions of single random variable, we need to have some recap of the previous classes. So uh, please go through the previous classes. So let us consider that y is a function of x, okay, and we have already seen that if y is a function of x, then we call it as y is equal to g of x. So and when y is equal to g of x, we have tried to find out your mean, variance, as well as your other things, like we would be trying to relate your one random variable with the other random variable, or you can say that we are trying to map one function to the other function. Like here our function is what now, g of x, and we'll be trying to map this g of x to a variable y, a random variable y. Okay, so here in functions of single random variables, what we'll be doing is we will be using your y is equal to g of x, and then we'll try to find the pdf of y from the pdf of x. So observe here friends, they will be like, first what we'll do now, first we will we'll try to find the pdf of x, and from that pdf of x we'll try to find the pdf of y. Okay, so in order to demonstrate this, let us try to see it with the help of an example. So this is your example friends. So if you observe here, what did we study just now? That using this function, the function is what, y is equal to g of x, using this function, and we will be trying to find what now, the pdf of y from the pdf of x. Okay, so he has given us a function here, y is equal to ax plus b. Then using the pdf of x, we'll try to find the pdf of y. So first we'll try to find the pdf of x, and from that we'll try to find the pdf of y. Now in this equation, y is equal to ax plus b, please observe a and b are constant. We'll consider a and b as constant. Okay, now in order to do this, in order to solve such type of problems, the first step we need to do is we need to find the inverse of the given equation. Okay, so in order to find the inverse of this y is equal to ax plus b is nothing but we are just rearranging the terms, that is x is equal to y minus b divided by a. So this b has been taken into the LHS and we are dividing with a. So x is equal to y minus b divided by a. Okay, next we need to find the pdf of y. We need to find the pdf of y, and you already know that by the definition of pdf, it is nothing but whenever any random variable becomes less than or equal to its variable, that is small y, then this is called as a CDF. So this is called as a CDF. So the CDF definition is, if any variable, that is capital Y, becomes less than or equal to its own sample, that is small y, then that such a function is called as a CDF. Okay, now what is your y here friends? Y we already know, y has been already defined here. Okay, so y is equal to what now? It is ax plus b. So substitute the same ax plus b here. Okay, we'll be substituting the same ax plus b here, like I'll try to show you. So we know that y is equal to what now? Y is equal to ax plus b. Okay, so y is equal to ax plus b has been given here. Now what we'll do now? So instead of this capital Y here, so this is a small y. So just convert this small y into capital Y, and we'll be using this y is equal to ax plus b here in this equation. Okay, next, after doing this, what is the next step now? We need to rearrange the terms. So therefore you can see here that this b has been taken into your RHS, like the same way how we are done here, so this is y minus b, then this a which is here besides x, that will be divided, so it is y minus b divided by a. Okay, so this is how we will be doing now. Next, after doing this, so by using the definition, if you can observe the definition here, please map your equation number 1. Okay, please use your equation number 1. So you can see here, it is nothing but here x is less than or equal to y minus b by a. So that means what now? This is the CDF of your y minus b by a. So we are just mapped. Please map your y with y. Here we have a small y, so therefore it has been written as CDF of small y. Here we have y minus b by a, therefore we have written it as y minus b by a. So therefore we have finded out the CDF of your y. So this is done. So what is the actually then? What is our actually concept here? We need to find the PDF. We need to find the PDF of y. Okay. So we'll move ahead. So we have got our CDF, friends. We have got our CDF. We know that its PDF can be obtained by differentiating your CDF. Remember this, your CDF, which is small f, can be obtained by differentiating your CDF. That is, small f can be obtained by differentiating your CDF. That is we have found it out here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and differentiate this y minus b by a. We already know its CDF, so we'll differentiate this y minus b by a. Very simple differentiation. One small thing we need to understand here is, please go back to your basics and have a glance at your chain rule. So this differentiation is done with the help by using your chain rule. Okay. So in chain rule, we know that the first we will differentiate the first function, which is capital F of x, and you already know when you differentiate your capital F of x, the differentiation of capital F of x is nothing but small fx, and we'll keep this second function as it is. Okay. Next we will differentiate this second function, so which is y minus b by a. So once you differentiate this y minus b by a, the answer you will be getting is 1 by a. So this is nothing but what now, your PDF. Okay. So what we have done now, we have obtained the PDF of y in terms of PDF of x. See here, friends, this fx is nothing but PDF of your x, and what is this small fy? This is the PDF of y. So that is what we are trying to do, right? If you see the definition, what we are trying to do, we are trying to find the PDF of y from the PDF of x. So what we have done here, we have found out the PDF of y from the PDF of x. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So this is what we'll be trying to do in your functions of single random variables. So moving ahead, we'll try to do one more problem. We'll try to do one more problem here. So consider the function y is equal to ax square, and let us say that a is greater than 0. Okay. So we need to obtain the PDF of a random variable y in variable x. See here, friends, the similar problem it is. Here we are trying to find the PDF of random variable y. Here also what did we do? We have found the PDF of random variable y from what now? PDF of x from what? Our random variable x. Okay. So what is the first step? If you observe here, what is the first step here? We need to find the inverse of the function. The same thing we'll try to do here. So rearrange this y is equal to ax square. So this is nothing but x square equal to y by a, and we will be taking a square root of your x equal to plus or minus square root of y by a. Okay. Now here comes a peculiar hindrance. What happens here is, y is taking both positive values as well as negative values. Okay. So always remember, if y takes negative values, then it becomes imaginary. So once it becomes imaginary, it cannot be mapped into your x. That's why we always consider our values to be positive. That is, the values of y, we have to consider only positive values. Okay. So that means, see here, that is the first condition. Next is this y, it is having two values. One is minus square root and another one is plus square root. So therefore our x is lying between what now? It is lying between minus y by a and plus y by a. So this x is lying between minus y by a and plus y by a. And as we decided just now that the value of y should be always positive, that means y should be greater than 0. Same with a. So if a goes negative, we will get again imaginary values. So therefore we assume a also has greater than 0. So therefore in this equation, we need to take y as greater than 0 and a also greater than 0, and the value of x is ranging between minus square root of y by a and plus square root of y by a. Okay. So we know that your CDF of y, we try to find the CDF of y. We know this is our definition. Okay. So f capital, this is capital Fy of f, probability of capital Y less than or equal to small y. Okay. So this we know that by definition. So you can see here, this is our definition which we already studied in the previous classes. So using that definition, we already know your capital Y. So capital Y we have found it out just now. So it has been given, it is ax square, it is ax square. So using that ax square, again rearranging the terms, x square is kept here only, and it is y, a has been taken in the denominator, we have taken a in the denominator. Okay, so you can observe here ax square. So x square has been kept as it is, a has been taken in the denominator. Now what is happening here now? It is x square, that means we need to take a square root of it. So therefore what would happen? This x will be ranging between what now? Minus y by a to plus y by a. This we have already defined here. When I take a square root, this x is ranging between minus y by a to plus y by a. Okay, so we have found out your what now? This is your CDF. This is your CDF of y. Okay, now we already know a property. In order to solve this, we already know a property, that is nothing but when x is between x1 and x2, right? When x is between x1 and x2, it is nothing but fx of x2 minus fx of x1, that is CDF of the term, second term x2 minus the CDF of the first term. So this is nothing but fx of x2 is this one minus x1. Okay, sorry, this is fx of x2 and this is x1. So that's what we have done here. So you can observe fx of x2, probability of the first term, sorry, second term, and minus the probability of the second term. Okay, so you can see here our x is ranging between what now? It is ranging between y by a to minus y by a. So therefore fx of x2, which is nothing but square root of y by a, please map here to here. Okay, and fx of x1, which is minus y by a, so we are using here. Okay, so I'll just show it with the help of a marker if it's not clear. Yeah. So we'll use this property. Okay friends, please concentrate now. So here this is fx of x2, fx of x2 minus fx of x1. Okay, so what is fx of x1 then? So this becomes your x2, this becomes your x1. Okay, sorry, 1 second, I'll just remove this. So you can observe here, this has been written here in this fashion. Okay, so your x2 is what now? Your x2 is this one, that is square root of y by a, and your x1 is what now? Minus of square root of y by a. Okay, so that means it is nothing but this becomes your x1, this becomes your x1, and this becomes your x2. Okay, so that is what has been done here, that is it is fx of x2 minus fx of x1. Okay, so this we have done now. So we have found out the CDF of y, okay, which is in terms of CDF of x. Okay, but we need to still move ahead. Why? Because we need to find what? Please see what has been asked in the question. We need to find the PDF. We have found it till now what now? CDF. Okay, so we'll move ahead. And so PDF can be obtained by differentiating its CDF. You can see here d by dy of fy. Okay, so we already know fy of y, which is nothing but this equation. You substitute this equation here. Again using chain rule, friends. Don't get confused here. Just the terms are more. So first we'll differentiate the first term, that is this term. Next we'll differentiate the second term, that is this term. Okay, so we'll try to see that now using your chain rule. So if you see the chain rule here, first we'll differentiate the first term, this one. Okay, so when you differentiate this fx, you already know that it would get converted into small fx, right? And we will be keeping the second term as it is. So the second term has been kept as it is. Now once you differentiate your square root of y by a, what you will be getting? You will be getting 1 by 2 square root of ay minus the second term now, here this term. So this fx is differentiated, which will be converted into what now? Small fx. This minus of square root of y by a, which would be kept as it is. Next we will differentiate this minus of square root of y by a. So it is nothing but this is the same thing. So this and this both are the same. Only small change is what now? We have a negative sign here. We have a negative sign here due to this sign. Okay, so this has been done. Next thing is what now? We will be removing the common terms. We will be removing the common terms. If you can observe here, 1 by 2 square root of ay and 1 by 2 square root of ay, both are common. So remove both of them common. We have removed here common. So what's remaining inside this term? That is fx of square root of y by a, and this minus and this minus would be converted with this minus as plus. Okay, and this term and this term. Okay, so therefore friends, what did we do? What did we do finally? Finally we have obtained your PDF of y. So here PDF of y is obtained in terms of PDF of x. Yes, so PDF of y, which is small fy of y, is obtained in terms of PDF of x. Okay, so that is what has been asked in the question here. What they have asked in the question? They have told us to find the PDF of random variable y in variable x. Okay, so I hope this is clear. It's simple technique, friends. I'll just revise the problem. First you rearrange the terms, right? Next you if there is a range, find the range. You find its CDF, find the CDF again by rearranging in terms of y. Then you go ahead and differentiate its CDF, you'll get the PDF. That's all. So once you differentiate, you'll be getting the PDF. Okay. So to demonstrate this, we'll go ahead with one more problem. So please concentrate a bit. Clarity is not here due to camera. So you can see here, it is given that the random variable z is Gaussian with a mean of 0 and a variance of 1. Okay. The random variable y is obtained from z with the relation y is equal to 3z plus 7. Full stop. Find the PDF for y. So if you observe it carefully, he has given us a Gaussian random variable. He has given us a Gaussian random variable whose mean is what? 0 and whose variance is what? 1. Okay. So we need to obtain the random variable y from z using this relation. The relation is y is equal to 3z plus 7. And what he is trying to tell now? What is the question? He is trying to find, he is telling us to find the PDF for y. Okay. So let us try to see the solution, how it goes. See here, since he has given us mean is equal to 0, yes, and variance is equal to 1, it becomes a normalized Gaussian random variable. So always remember, friends, whenever mean and variance, mean is 0 and variance on 1, we call it as a normalized Gaussian random variable. And we already know that its PDF is given by fz of z is equal to 1 by square root of 2 pi e raised to minus z square by 2, and where z lies between minus infinity to plus infinity. So you need to remember this formula, friends. This is the PDF of a normalized Gaussian random variable. Please take care, normalized. When we write normalized, when the mean is 0 and your variance is 1. Okay. So its PDF is there. We know its PDF already. So we need to find its CDF now. Okay. So this is by definition, that is capital Fy of y is equal to probability capital Y conditioned on less than or equal to small y. Okay. So we already know your by what equation it is governing. It is 3z plus 7. So use the same equation here, 3z plus 7. Okay. Now rearrange this terms. So this was our first step, rearranging the terms. So take this 7 to the RHS, then it becomes y minus 7. Next you divide this 3. So therefore it is y minus 7 by 3. So if you observe this, please compare this equation with this equation. Okay. So when you compare this equation with this equation, you can see that it is nothing but here z is there. Okay. So I'll just show it if you are getting confused. Actually you should not confuse, because this is the third time we are doing it. Okay. So what did we do now? So this is our formula, py is less than or equal to y. So this is what we have achieved now, that is z is less than or equal to y minus 7 by 3. So here if you observe, this small y has come in place of here. Similarly, this y minus 7 by 3 is nothing but what now? It has come from here. Okay. So therefore, and here term is what now? Z. Yes. So therefore what we have written? Fz. Here term is what now? Y. Therefore what we have written here? Fy. Okay, it is CDF of y with small variable, that is the variable is small y. This is CDF of z with its variable is what now, y minus 7 by 3. Okay, so this is understandable, I guess. Next, moving ahead, so the PDF is, we need to find the PDF now. We already have the CDF, so it is d by dy of fy of y. We have found it out, d by dy of fy of y we have found it out. So what it is, just substitute this equation, it is fz y minus 7 divided by 3. Okay, so again using your chain rule, just use the chain rule. So differentiation of fz becomes small fz. Okay, and y minus 7 by 3, again using the chain rule, keep the second function as it is while differentiating this fz. So once you differentiate this y minus 7 by 3, you will be getting 1 by 3. Now in equation 1, please observe in equation 1, here we have equation 1. So in equation 1, replace z with y minus 7 by 3. Okay, so this is very important term. We already know your equation 1. Okay, wherever we have this z has to be replaced with what now, y minus 7 by 3. So if you can observe here, 1 divided by square root of 2 pi e raised to minus z square by 2, e raised to minus z square by 2. So instead of z, we are using y minus 7 by 3 divided by 2 the whole square. Okay, so e raised to minus z square by 2. So now apart from that, you also have a 1 by 3. See here, it is also multiplied by a 1 by 3. So into 1 by 3. Now this 1 by 3 goes here, it becomes 1 by 3 square root of 2 pi e raised to minus y minus 7 the whole square divided by 9. So this 3 square becomes 9 into 1 by 2. So this becomes 18. So therefore you can observe that it is 1 divided by 3 into square root of 2 pi e raised to minus y by 7 the whole square divided by 18. Okay, very simple friends. Fine. Next, we'll see a different type of problem now. This is slightly different type of problem. Please observe it carefully. So here in this problem, you can see here the random variable x is Gaussian, whose mean, which is mu x, is 0 and rho x is equal to 1. The random variable y is obtained from x using the relation y is equal to 10x cube. What is fy of 0.1298? Okay, so this is the question. So if you analyze the question, again it's a Gaussian random variable, right, whose mean and variance, whose mean is 0 and variance is 1. So thereby it becomes what now? It's a normalized Gaussian random variable. He has also given the relation y is equal to 10x cube, and he has just asked us to find fy of 0.1298. So see friends, this is slightly different from the previous problem. In the previous problem, we tried to find what now? We have found the CDF, right? We have found the we have found the PDF. Okay, but here he has given us to find the CDF of 0.1298. It's very simple actually. So again, let us analyze what all has been given. Given is x is a Gaussian, its a mean is 0, variance is 1. So therefore x becomes what now? It's a normalized Gaussian random variable. So the CDF of y is nothing but, it is by definition, we know this definition, that is probability of y less than or equal to y is nothing but, this is called as a CDF. Here y is what? It is 10x cube. See here, y is 10x cube. Substitute that value, 10x cube. Rearrange these terms, that is the first step we have. Remember that. Rearrange it. It is x cube less than or equal to y by 10. Okay. So once you rearrange this, I'll just take the board. So see here. So it is x cube less than or equal to y by 10. Okay. So that is nothing but this 10 has been taken here as a divider. Okay. Next, this is x cube. So therefore, what we want just x. So take a square root of this, that is multiply it with what now? 1 by 3. Multiply it with 1 by 3. So this x cube is multiplied by 1 by 3 on this side, as well as here also we multiplied by what now? 1 by 3. Thereby what happens friends? This 3 and this 3 would get cancelled. Then what you get? You just get here x, and here it is nothing but y by 10 raised to 1 by 3. Okay. So this is done. Next, so what we have found out now? This is nothing but it is the, you can see here, this is the, by definition, by using this definition. So here y is replaced by x. Instead of small y, we have y by 10 raised to 1 by 3. So once you write it, what would happen now? this capital Y has come here where as a suffix, this capital X would come what now as a suffix. Now instead of small y, this small y has come from here, right? So what would come instead of small y here? It would be replaced by y by 10 raised to 1 by 3. Okay, so this is by definition, by using the definition. So you can see here, this is nothing but it is the CDF of y. It is the CDF of, one second, so it is the CDF of y, right, in terms of CDF of x, in terms of CDF of x, both are capital F. Okay, now we have obtained the relation. He has given us the value of y. The value of y has been given. See here, the value of y is what now? 0.1298. Use that value, substitute that value. Okay, so instead of y, we are using here 0.1298. Divide it, take a 1 by 3. Then you will be getting fx of 0.2350. You already know how to find this fx of 0.2350. So we will be using your normalized Gaussian table. You guys have that table with you. Just search for the value 0.350 and the answer will be is 0.5948. Okay, so these are a few problems on your functions of single random variable, okay, as well as its theory behind it. So thank you for watching. We'll again meet in the next class.